You heard about the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Jay Morrison, I think he's from Connecticut, but he has the Black House down here.
Okay.
And recently, Julian, I think his name is Julian Gordon. He's the head investor. Uh, he was, he was, he came out and said that the TREF Tulsa Real Estate Fund was bankrupt and was a fraud. And Jay Morrison, uh, pretty much needs to come clean and tell the people what really happened. I don't know because I didn't invest in that. And I'm getting ready to tell you why. I didn't invest in it because the financials, I didn't know enough about the financials. I didn't see enough about the financials. And while I am longing to always involve myself in Black economics, because I understand that that's going to create a power base, you have to be qualified in order for me to do that.
Right.
Who else? What else? What else is happening? Polite. He was a guy.
Mm-mm.
He got and I talked about this. I did my interview with Sister Yolanda Tate of Elevate to Wellness. Shout out to Sister Yolanda. And I think I might have talked about this with Q too, Kusana Taylor. Shout out to her. The Relentless Society. But Polite was catching a lot of flack about 4 or 5 years ago. I start hearing a whole lot about Polite, a whole lot. And I don't know if Polite is a Hebrew Israelite.
No,
I know
he's not. No, he's
he's
not.
a Nuwabi. He was Nuwabian, right?
Nuwabian, yeah,
He was
Nuwabian.
Nuwabian. I knew he wasn't Hebrew Israelite, but I knew he was like a Nuwabian or something. I know he followed Malachi York, but he began to catch a bad rap. He began to catch a lot of flack. And what it brought to my mind was, let me say this: if those brothers or anybody who follows them or loves them is listening, I don't know if they're, I'm not with or against them. They earn what they get, right? I'm gonna say that again. I'm not, and that's how I feel about a lot of people. I'm not against you. I'm not for you or against you. You earn what you get. I'm just merely making it a point to say, if they are in fact shade tree hustlers and shysters, what do we do about that, Coach? What do you say about throwing support behind people on social media who seem to have a business model, a way to affect our community, a way for us to come up without doing the knowledge, without doing due diligence?
We we want we live in a microwave society, and we have a savior complex where we need somebody to be our savior. And anybody who's well spoken, anybody who's able to use or speak in a manner that is foreign to us, and the words and the presentation seems to be flashy. It seems to be a manner that we really don't understand, but it sounds good. The charisma, the charismatic presentation, we tend to flock to that, but we don't vet. We don't vet. Let me tell you, I don't follow men who who don't stand on a path of warriorhood. That's just me. That's just me. I don't. If warriorhood is not in your nature, can't follow you. Doesn't mean I can't be friends with you. Doesn't mean I can't follow you. Meaning that for my taste, for my path, my presentation, okay. Your goal is to serve. That is our purpose as leaders. That is our purpose as men. That is our purpose standing before the Creator. How did you serve the people? How did you give back to the people? And if your service to the people requires you or allows you to be involved with an underage child, then you're the scum of the earth. You need to be put to death. Jail is too good for you. Man, let me tell you, this is why I love the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. And I'm not a member of the NOI, but and I even have Hebrews. I mean, why you like Farrakhan? I said, man, Farrakhan is my guy, man. Look, let me tell you something. When I heard Brother Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister, when I heard him say rapists, and I'm paraphrasing, will be put to death in the nation. See, what that said to me is this: we're so organized that I'm not calling Johnny Law. to deal with what I know God gave me the authority to deal with. God gave me the authority to eliminate threats in this manner that harm my children, my wife, my tribe, my people. Why are we involved in anything else? Polite. The DNA evidence was there. The testimonies were there. The pleas were there. The deals and the arrangements were there. Let me tell you something. If you're a righteous man and you didn't do it, why are you taking plea deals? See, what that says to me is this. Either you don't believe in something greater than yourself and are willing to stand and die on it, or it's true. So, to me, and from what I've seen, the brother is guilty. From what I've heard him say out of his own mouth in these court testimonies, you're guilty. From the testimony of the mother, you're guilty. From the DNA evidence, you're guilty. Why are we celebrating? Why is anybody still following this individual? He needs to be put to death. Because where's the father at? Where's the father? Where's the father of this baby? Where's the father of this baby? See, there's a whole lot of stuff that go into this when I look at pro-life that challenges the structure of our community.
Right.
It challenges it. And we're screaming out right now, protect, protect, protect. But who's protecting? The people who you're investing in protecting, they're the ones doing the most harm. They're the ones who are destroying the foundation. It's people like that that lead folk to step away from spirituality, from growth. And we have to be accountable for how we lead. We have to be accountable for how we teach. I'm not saying I'm the greatest teacher of all time. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But by the same token, I'm transparent. I'll stand before you and say, yeah, I did this back in the day. I said this back in the day. I used to think like this back in the day. I don't think like this now. Whatever it may be. Because one, I believe that transparency allows the individuals who follow you to see their path also. And they're able to relate it to reality.
That's
See,
right.
as teachers, we don't want to open up to say, yeah, I was on that road too. So that young brother who's coming up, who's emulating your movement now, he doesn't understand that you came from a place just like him. You fought a fight just like him. You battled a battle just like him. We have these leaders that we place on pedestals. That's why I say leadership should never be placed on pedestals unless they are elders. Elders. See, men like the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, that man, he needs to be placed on the pedestal. You see, the greatest general of our time, Brother Malcolm X, needs to be placed on a pedestal. See, these are men that need to be revered constantly. I'm 43 years old. I haven't done enough. I haven't done enough. And my reverence is not for man to give right now. It's for my place in the heavens. For when God writes that information down on my judgment day, that's the only thing I really care about. How man remembers me or thinks, it doesn't matter. For what goes on behind closed doors and the work that we do, it's not for the glory of men. But these are the things that I see when I see these leaders. They want to be glorified by men. They care so much how men see them. How many women want them. Man, you should have gotten out of that phase when you were in your 20s. You should have been out of that phase when you were in your 20s. See, that's how I know most of these boys haven't started living until they got in their 30s and 40s, till they started remaking themselves. I tell young men right now, when they go into Omega Psi Phi, if that's your path, if that's your choice, don't let it make you. What do you have to offer it? Whatever your path is, what do you have to offer it? Not what does it have to offer you? What do you bring it to the table? But that goes into a whole nother topic. We talk about that from a relationship standpoint too. But this polite thing, man, like I personally believe that, like I said earlier, what was done and what was projected, there's no place in our community for it. There's no place in our community for it. I would have never called the police. Never. Jail is too good for him.
He said you would never call it. Yeah, and like I say, I lead with logic. So what I do is, man, I never with Polite, with R. Kelly, with Bill Cosby, because we saw what happened with Bill Cosby, right? We
Mm-hmm.
saw where he did 36 months only for that Supreme Court to come back, coach, and say he never should have been locked up in the first place. Let him
Mm-hmm.
out of there. So I always, like I say, I'm not for or against you earn what you get. I always look at the logic
Yep.
and the facts, the objectivity around it. But when it came out, that when that verdict came down and I saw that 7 years and that 10 years probation, I was like, oh man, wow. Well, I guess that's the end of Polite.
But
And that
see,
will be.